Again, that's 810-227-6000, and it's located in Brighton, Michigan. That's Burroughs Roadhouse. And you can go to the website, check them out, www.Burroughs Roadhouse, and there's a hyphen between Burroughs and Roadhouse.com. And we're back. So we were talking a little bit before the break about healthcare. And I was talking about my experience about people abusing healthcare. And my family is actually a perfect example of that. When we lived up in northern Michigan, we played out in the dirt. I mean, we would get scratches, we'd get bumps, we'd get bruises. And we walked through it. And I turned out almost okay, if you ask my wife. But almost. But it's a simple thing where when you're in a single-payer system, people start abusing it, right?
Right.
And so, what else did you want to talk about, Phil?
The bad thing about the abuse is that the people that are abusing it don't feel it at all, don't have any connection to the abuse that's going on. The government is the people that are giving it to you. Well, they are willing to give it to you because they got... the
problem with those that abuse the system, like I said, after we got the OHIP, I went into the doctors for just about any little thing. Why? Because we didn't have to worry about insurance rates going up. We didn't have to worry about any of that.
You have no connection to it.
No. We were clean except for the fact that we had to go into there. The problem is when you have so many people that are willing to go in for any little thing like that, it floods the system. Next thing you know is you can't get in to see the doctor.
Yeah, and for serious stuff. They always talk about you're going to take away health care, and that means that if you take away the health care, people won't have it and that may die because they don't have health care. Well, you're going to really be in a position where nobody is going to be able to get it except a lucky few that get in the door first.
You know, if they're going to do anything to the health care, and I think maybe if they're going to tweak any of the plan, first of all, I am completely for 100% market-based healthcare system. But if you're going to go to any system where we're going to put any money in it, we need to find a way to keep urgent care or emergency care much more affordable. This blanket-wide, we're going to insure anyone to where we're going to cover their drippy nose or anything like that. That's, in my opinion, ridiculous.
But that's what Medicaid does. That's
right.
what it does. People that are on Medicaid have a better deal because they are getting it highly subsidized, and they never know
I've got a headache this morning. I don't want to go into work. Yeah. You know, I actually know somebody who did this. I didn't want to go into work, and I only because they were working at a minimum wage job, you know, and they didn't have insurance at the time, and they still didn't. Well, they do now, but now they can just go in under Obamacare, and they go in there and they get work reports.
Yeah.
You know, to get off work for the day, so they don't have to go into work, and nothing wrong. The next thing you see, I thought you were I thought you were sick. You didn't go into work. Oh man, I just wanted to go down to the beach today.
Yeah,
you know, and they took taxpayers' money through Obamacare to get an excuse so they could go to the beach. To me, none of that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense if you understand what their ultimate goal is. The ultimate goal is single payer, but beyond that is the universal basic income. That's what the whole thing is about, and they're headed toward that. I have on the web about a guy from Hawaii where they're advocating going experimenting with the universal basic income. Now, what that is making way for the revolution of robots that's going to come in a couple of years.
Right.
And between the basic income, basic salary, and prescription drugs, I mean, they're gonna blot out a whole generation.
So
of people.
it's not going to just end up being just universal health care. It's going to be a universal paycheck.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, the robots took your job. That's okay. The government is going to get enough taxes from the big people that we will have them pay your wages even though you're not working for them. Let's talk about that a little bit more. I want to go into a break here right now, but after that break, we'll go into this a little bit more because that's a very important thing.
Yep.
A&H Lawn Service in Saline serves all of southeast Michigan. Co-founders Tim and Brandon have been offering professional lawn maintenance since 1991. Landscape construction, lawn and landscape maintenance, irrigation systems, winterizing, and snow removal. Let A&H Lawn Service help your business with landscaping solutions for today and tomorrow. Tim and Brandon have the professional experience you can count on. Call them today at 734-429-5778. See how their business can help your business. Visit A&H Lawn Service online at ahlawncare.com. Better yet, call Tim and Brandon today at 734-429-5778. Find out how they can make your business look a whole lot better. That's A&H Lawn Service, ahlawncare.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Austin, the A in A&H Lawn Service. Brandon and I started our landscape business in 1991 and grown our business into a full-service landscape and landscape maintenance company. We would love to add your name to our list of happy customers.
Remove the jobs, break the schools, pull back the police. Let the streets flood with drugs. Let violent gangs recruit child soldiers and terrorize neighborhoods. Don't prosecute gun crimes. And when the media looks you in the eye after another bloody weekend in a major American city, call for more gun control. If our politicians are truly using the carnage they refuse to stop to attack the rights of honest, hardworking Americans caught in living hell, then they are guilty of the most despicable form of racism imaginable. What has been allowed to happen in our inner cities is an absolute disgrace. If the same epidemic of poverty, gang violence, and broken schools poison the neighborhoods of the nation's political class, you'd better believe they'd be talking about real solutions, not gun control. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
Behold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal,
that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights,
that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
In April of 2009, the Rattle With Us Tea Party was formed in an effort to take a stand for fiscal responsibility, limited government, and free markets. We firmly believe that our venom is our vote. Visit rattlewithus.com for details on monthly meetings and events.
Greasy Skillet. Greasy Skillet. Greasy Skillet.
Howdy, dear hearts. This is Radio John D., and I'd be mightily obliged to you for tuning into my show, Greasy Skillet. We'll take the first exit off that top 40 interstate in favor of the 2 lanes, back roads, wagon ruts, and dog trots in search of the forgotten and overlooked roots music of America and beyond. Bring along the whole family and stay a spell, won't you?
Greasy Skillet, Saturday nights at 8 on Wham! You're catching the drift. Gary Wellings and the Drift on Wham! Talk 1600. Call 734-822-1600 to join in the discussion.
And we are back. And Phil and I were just talking off the air about this whole thing. You know, when everyone was pushing for this $15 an hour minimum wage, $16 minimum wage at McDonald's, and McDonald's saying, we want $15 an hour. We started talking about the fact, we've had this discussion many times on there, that you're going to end up with, $15 hamburgers and stuff like that, except for one thing. McDonald's won't let that happen. You want that kind of pay increase? Guess what? You're not going to be working at McDonald's. Robots will take your job. Mm-hmm. They're going into Dundee at a Speedway there. They have a little kiosk there. You want to put in an order. You don't talk to a person. You punch in everything on a computer. And so it takes out a middle person there. It can go even further than that. They can literally manufacture your sandwich by computer. If you want lettuce on it, the thing will put lettuce on it. If you don't, you don't. At my wife's work, they have a robot that serves ice cream. They're selling robotic yogurt things. Robots are coming into it.
Yep.
And the reason I say that is through robotics, a lot of jobs can get replaced if the labor cost is too high. And when that happens, you have a whole lot of people that are not working. So what is the liberals' consultant idea? Is a universal paycheck, and that is where they're trying to go. If I understand what you are trying to say, Phil, that's exactly what would happen. All of a sudden, when you have a total population that's out of work because of robots, because the company didn't want to pay the high hourly wages, the only thing you have left is a lot of people sitting at home. Welfare runs out after 13 weeks, 26 weeks, or something like that. I don't know how many of the extensions you can still get and all that other stuff.
Unemployment?
Yeah.
Unemployment is, they had it up to like 2 years at one time.
Well, eventually, no matter what, it runs out, right?
Yeah.
And if the jobs aren't out there because robots have taken the jobs, the government has to come up with a solution.
Exactly.
And 2 years, unemployment's kind of almost getting on the skirt of universal payroll.
Yeah.
Paying people to not work. And that's what's going to happen with the universal payroll system. If you want to be part of the conversation, the number is 734-822-1600. And we're talking about anything from health care to universal payroll to, just not liking Joe Scarborough and glad that he's left the Republican Party. And I'm going to celebrate that for a while.
You don't need somebody beating you up from the inside, and that's what was happening every day. This guy was, he was just relentless. And then he would... after work, he would go around and try to be chummy with Trump.
The Republicans have been beating themselves up back and forth and tearing each other up since 2008.
Yeah.
And that's a problem if you ever want to win. I'm not going to call the name out. He didn't want to go on the air, so I'm not going to mention his name. He called up and said, I'd never vote for Patrick Colbeck. I know Patrick Colbeck. He is a strong Christian.
That's right.
But he will not legislate your morality. He'll use morals in his legislation type thing. You know exactly where he stands on subjects. The bill that went through, he was going to fight to get a bill through that allowed us to buy right to life license plates.
Yeah.
That got through both houses.
Yeah.
Rhino Rick vetoed it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Whatever Colbeck says he will try to do is what he will try to do. And he will fight for it until he gets it or until there is no more fight on that. And even then, it's not over. If it comes back around, he will. He's done that with the road bill a number of times, trying to bring that around. He's the one who fought against the higher gas taxes. And yet, we still have him. Him as a governor could have vetoed those gas taxes.
He may be taking a lesson from the opposition because they are relentless. They don't give up. Look how long Dingell's dad pushed the health care every year till he died. And then Dingell took over and he did it for another 50 years.
Now his wife is doing it again.
Yeah, right.
And you know what's really sad is that Debbie Dingell used to be a Republican. And she married the old guy from Washington.
Yeah.
He says he's from Michigan, but he spent all of his time in Washington and growing up in Washington. We know better.
Yeah.
And I say that because, first of all, the Dingells, my family called him a friend. But I told him, I like you. You're a friend, but I'm voting for Steele this time around. He didn't like that too well. But you're right. They push their agenda, and they're very patient. And like I said at the opening of the show, they're like China. We don't have to conquer the world overnight. We have an eternity to do it.
Well, all totalitarian-minded systems are patient. They know it's just a matter of time when they keep offering the goodies that at some point somebody's going to accept them. It's just how many.
And taking this patient approach works in a society like ours, because in a society like ours, we want to fix it now type situation, right? Every time we see a single problem, we try to fix that problem right now. And how do we as Americans fix it? We throw money at it. We throw money at it. So to get that totalitarian order, you use that weakness against us. America likes to throw money at the problems. They don't like to see problems fester on. They want it taken care of right now. They don't always think of the best way to take care of it. They just want to throw money at the problems. That makes it easy for a totalitarian government to take over.
Yeah. When
you have a society that's how they do it. And so what they do is say, fine, we will use their money to throw at the problems, and we'll make them glad that we did.
And it's always somebody else's money. That's why Margaret Thatcher, she said